Over the last 6 years, my husband and I have built a multi-7-figure agency. But what most people are surprised to hear is we haven't done it on our own. We've done it with a secret third person, third wheel. And it is thanks to her loyalty. And in fact, not just her loyalty, but the whole team's loyalty. Our newest team member is only has been with us for over 3 years. So we haven't hired anyone for the last 3 years. We've still been able to build this business, and it's thanks to the loyalty of our team. And it's not because we pay them really well. We do pay them really well, but that's not the reason that they've stayed loyal to us. And I've noticed after placing over 100 remote professionals in agencies worldwide, that a common misconception when I speak to people is you need to pay someone really well and that's it. Then they'll just stay with you. Well, I want to just say today, that's not true. We've seen it time and time again. Money won't buy loyalty. Right? A salary is not enough. Loyalty is built on having an amazing vision, but a shared vision within that team. It's on giving the people within your team ownership. That ownership means that they get to come into work every day. They get to build towards your vision because of the aspects of the business that they're taking ownership of. And then on top of that, they feel purposeful, right? When you win together. When you have challenges in the business, you fix them together. If you have an agency right now and you are losing great people, or you're not even able to hire great people, and you're sitting around and you have a team of what we call B players, so people who are sitting to be told what to do, people who aren't bringing ideas to the table, people who aren't necessarily investing time right now, and all of our team are investing time on learning how to use AI within their roles to be more efficient. If you've got people who are kind of sat there waiting to be told what to do, then I'm making this video for you, right? Because in this video, I am going to show you why it's so important to bring people in who are fiercely loyal, not just important for you, but important for them as well, and exactly how to bring people in that stay with you for the long term, stay with you through the thick, through the thin, through the good times, through the bad times. I feel like I should be doing a little song here with that. But most importantly, what you can do, and it's super simple, it's 3 things that you can do to ensure that you find these great people, and then you just keep working with them, nurturing that relationship, giving them the very best career prospects, career opportunities, giving yourself the best opportunity to be around those amazing people, to grow your business, deliver your service to your clients, right? And why does this matter so much? Hiring is expensive, yes. Hiring is time consuming, yes. But if you're to think of like your dream team, and I am not a sports team player or team follower, it's actually a joke in our house how I literally was never picked for any of the school teams. Like I'm a skier, I'm a runner, but I'm not a team player per se. However, in this context of building a business, I am absolutely a team player. But if you're to think of like your favorite team, sports team, or your favorite team within your business, or a team that you've worked with before, whatever it might be, if you look at the qualities of those people, and then you imagine in your agency, they were the people that you had in your team, do you feel excited? Right? Like I feel pretty excited about the team that we're currently working with. And it's because we are all beating the same drum. We are all working towards the same vision, the same mission. And it's not our vision, as in myself and my husband, the founders of the company. It's our vision as in the whole team, right? And operationally, our team is all in the Philippines, and we were out there in November. We did a retreat, and we were in this luxury 5-star hotel and had an amazing time. We were island hopping for the day, and then we were all in the pool having cocktails at the end of the day. And we were just talking about our vision, right? What do we want to do? What do we stand for? What matters to us? What impact do we want to have on the people that are involved in our lives? And the excitement that the team had, and the fact that they know that they're the ones that get to drive that, that's their purpose, and that's what they've got ownership of, means that they're loyal to us because they're important to us, and they know they're important to us, and they're important to our mission. Which means that when we've come in this year, right, in Q1, we've hit higher revenue numbers, we've delivered better service, we've attracted better candidates for our clients. Our business is just better by a significant amount because our team is even more bought in now to our vision, right? And the value of that team is infinite ROI. If you can have that level of loyalty within your team, the return on your investment of time that it took to get that loyalty is significantly more than anything that you could pay someone who's not loyal, who's not really committed, who's not thinking about your business when they go home on the weekend, who's watching the clock and waiting for it to be 5 p.m. or whatever it might be to click off. The difference is loyalty, not what you're paying as far as the salary is concerned. And what we see founders do a lot of the time is because, as founders, we're visionaries, right? We're kind of like in our own mind. And we just think, well, if we just pay someone this much and give them the right perks package, then they'll do what they need to. And there's almost a bit of a sense of entitlement there where we think, well, we're paying them really well, so surely they should be doing what we expect them to do. But it's all about how you make your team feel, right? And if they don't feel valued and relevant of what you're paying them, and if they don't feel important and relevant, they're not going to bring their A game to the table because they don't feel like an A player. Another thing that we see founders do is they micromanage their team. So let's say that their team's not using initiative, not performing, then they go, right, I just need to micromanage them really tightly. But what micromanaging does is it then causes a distrust, or they set it up wrong from the start. And I've done a whole nother video on that. And therefore they feel like they need to be on top of their team and they need to be holding onto them really tight to make sure that they do what they need them to do so they can get the business to move forward, so they can hit their own goals. And then what happens, again, the person feels micromanaged or the team feel micromanaged. They feel like they're not trusted, so they just don't really show up. Or they set tasks and therefore very quickly the team falls into that mindset of, I'm just here to do tasks. So they don't start critically thinking. They don't take ownership of anything. Right. And I just wanted to share a story that we have where, we have a live case of this. So we set up Resource Worldwide 6 years ago, but before that, we had another business. And that was when I first started working with Rena. The other business was an e-commerce business. And I will make a story on that and the other businesses that I've had prior to Resource Worldwide. But, it's some of that is not a happy story. But the e-commerce business that we had was where I first hired Rena. So Rena is our head of operations. She is based in the Philippines. And 8 years ago when we hired her as a basic admin. Now, her background was actually in nursing. She had recently had a child herself, which is why she was now moving into working online. So this was actually one of her earliest online working experiences as well. But the qualities that Rena had, her commitment, her work ethic, her attitude, the way that even if she didn't know what I wanted her to do, she found a solution of how to do it anyway, meant that when we launched Resource Worldwide, she was kind of there launching with us. And this is why I call her the third wheel. I mean, actually at the time when I launched Resource Worldwide, Dan was still running the e-commerce company. So it was kind of me and Rena that launched it. And Dan then came in a little bit later on when Resource Worldwide really started to take off and we put all of our focus on this business instead. So Rena and I, from the very start, we talked about things from what was the client experience that we wanted our clients to have, what was the experience we wanted our remote professionals to have, what was the service that we wanted to deliver. Anytime we have anything go really well in the business, Rena and I would sit down and we'd analyze, well, why did this go well? What can we do to repeat this? Anytime anything didn't go well in the business, Rena and I would sit down and go, right, let's do a full analysis into why this didn't do well. And these are things that we still do today. Right? In fact, Rena, I wouldn't even say she's our third wheel. I'd say she's such a part of the family that when I went into labor with our second son, Elliot, 4 years ago, the first person that I told, partly because of the time difference, was Rena. I went into labor, or I started to have contractions, and I came downstairs. It was 4 o'clock in the morning here, which meant it was 12 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines, or 12 o'clock in the afternoon in the Philippines. And I had a cup of tea, and I sent Rena a photo, and I was like, I'm going to be out of the office today because I'm having a baby. Rena and I have a relationship where I'm heavily invested in the success of her life and what matters to her. And she's heavily invested in the success of my life and what happens to me. And the loyalty that we have for each other is mutual. The respect that we have for each other is mutual. But that's a powerful force to be building a business. And that filters through down to the rest of the team because that's how I work directly with Rena. That's how Rena then directly works with the rest of the delivery team in the Philippines. And if I look at what are the 3 things that we implemented during our relationship right from the very start that's allowed that loyalty to build, it's super simple. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So firstly, we share one vision, right? Our vision for life, not just for Resource Worldwide, but our vision for our life is shared. Our vision amongst our team is shared. And it's our holistic overall vision is for us to live the very best versions of our lives that we can and give our families the very best versions of the lives that they can. For us to be able to do that, we need to ensure that the business that we're part of, which is an extension of all of us, is created to serve people in the very best way. And when I say people, I mean our clients, being our remote professionals and our agency owners, but to serve them to the highest and best level that we possibly can. And we're all completely aligned on that. And I share that. I have a weekly meeting every Tuesday. The whole business is online, so everyone gets on Zoom. Every Tuesday, I have a weekly meeting and we talk about, for the first kind of 5 minutes, just that vision. Where are we on that mission? You know, what did we do this week to ensure that we are aligned in making sure that everyone that has any contact with us has the best possible experience? And we're constantly talking about living this best version of our lives, ensuring that Resource Worldwide allows anyone that comes into contact with it live the best version of their lives. And that's what drives us. And that's the one vision that we have as co-founders, that we share, Rena and I have shared since the start, and we have for the rest of our team. Which means that when they come in, they're not coming in and doing interviews or placements or account management calls, or for our admins, they're doing admin. They're working towards something bigger. And it doesn't matter if you're head of ops in Resource Worldwide or if you're admin, right? We still believe that you should live the best version of your life. And we still want to support you in doing that. Therefore, when the admin comes in, the admin's coming in and they're looking at how can they deliver the best so that our clients experience the best, because that is what we stand for. And we talk about it all the time, which leads me on to my second point, which is ownership. So by having this core belief that runs through the company, having this vision that runs through the company, we're also extremely clear that everyone is an important part of us achieving that together. Therefore, we're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to let you take ownership of the role that you have, right? So the outcome of the role, I'll give you again an example. Right now, when we're building our infrastructure, we're using Claude and Claude Cowork a lot. So one of the things that we are doing is auditing every interview that we do. Now, manually, that process is going to take a really long time, and we run on a lean team so that we can protect our profit margins. I mean, that's like, again, a whole nother topic, which I'll go into at a different video point. But we're using Claude to be able to audit every interview that our team does. Now, I don't know the intricacies or have the time to find the intricacies for that, but I trust Rena entirely, like a family member, essentially. So I'm able to say to Rena, the outcome of something that we need to do is have Claude set up to run audits and then use a scorecard to flag anything that's going really well in our interview process, anything that could be improved in the interview process. If we're interviewing A players, but then they're not getting through to the final interview because they're turning us down, we want to know why that's happening. I'm not going to sit there and tell her how to do it. I want her to take ownership of that whole process, right? So she's now off. She's building that out. It's a massively important part of business, which leads me to that next point. It gives her a real sense of purpose, right? So if I can get my team to take ownership of what they do, and they take a whole part, it's almost like a conveyor belt, right? And like a part of this conveyor belt, or a part of the machine in the factory, is being built by this person because they know what they want the machine to make, the outcome of the machine, and they build it and it works. And there'll be challenges along the way, right? Like some bolts or screws will probably flow off. I hope this analogy is making sense. I'm just freestyling this analogy, so I'm hoping it makes sense. But there might be some things that fly off in different directions, but they fix it and then they get to that outcome. That sense of achievement is significantly more than an extra £1,000 a year or whatever it might be, right? And again, this isn't to say that we don't pay our team well. Anyone that works for us knows that we do. We pay all remote professionals incredibly well. They get an amazing perks package, but that's not what makes our team loyal, right? It's those three things: the vision that's mutually shared, giving them ownership of outcomes, and then when they've achieved that, they feel so purpose-driven that they just want to do it again, and they go back through the cycle of, what can I do next? What can I do next to make sure that we're moving towards that vision? And part of this as well comes from the setup. And I made a video, and I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, you go check it out, probably straight after this. But I made a video for agency owners on how to onboard your team members intentionally. And it's intentionally for this. It's intentionally to build that loyalty, because the longer you have somebody in your business loyal to you, driven by the same vision, looking to achieve that same mission, taking ownership of things and purposeful, the better your business will grow. The more intentionally your business will grow. The more fun you will have growing your business. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the comments on how to onboard intentionally. Then I will pop that in the comments now, and I definitely recommend that you check that out. And also, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you are growing your agency and you're at that point of thinking, we need to make a hire, we're now in an age where you have a lot of options, and traditional hiring may no longer be serving your own business goals, your vision, and your mission. So after placing remote professionals in over 100 agencies worldwide, we have created a resource for you. It is also available for you to download absolutely free in the comments, where you can just go through the different options and how different agency owners are now hiring, what the traditional hiring looks like, what online hiring looks like, what work with freelancers might look like. Get all of the information that you need so you can make an informed decision when you're making your next hire.